So, recover the relics. Hold 1, hold 2, hold more. Break them body and soul is the progressive, which is just killing units and you score 1 point for each you kill, up to a maximum of 3 per round. And you need to control your own objective to receive command points, or control the opponent's objective to score 1 additional command point. Which is a bit interesting.
That's not really good for Ludvig. At least the progressive part.
The progressive part is really bad. Hesselberg is playing a knight list with a lot of Helverins, I think it was. Let's see here. I need to... I'm doing a little bit of behind the scene. There we go. They're currently setting up. Hesselberg lets Ludde choose side. It's a mirror table, so it doesn't really matter for them. I have spoken to both of them before this game. Hesselberg feels quite confident that he can make this another 20-0 for him. And Ludde doesn't really have the best list to fight knights. He's banking on a lot of small hits rather than big heavy hits. So yeah, I think for Ludde this will be a game that's centered around not losing 20-0.
Every point matters, so...
Yeah, he just wants to... If he can get like 6 tournament points, then he's probably satisfied.
A lot of meltdowns on the Warglaves.
Okay, I can see here that the table cam is not updating properly, so we will...
The stream and recording stopped working and it didn't want to start, no matter how much we praised the Omnissiah. After some non-sanctioned tech heresy we got it back online. The knights got the first turn, and we jumped back into the action in the Eldar's movement phase turn 1.
And we are back after a lot of technical issues. Let's give you some beautiful Warhammer instead. We are going into Daniel Hesselberg versus Ludvig Advin, as we mentioned before. We can go take a quick look at their secondaries. Daniel Hesselberg has chosen Renew Oath, Honor the House, and Yield No Ground. So Renew Oath is staying within 6 inches of the center and doing an action to score victory points. Honor the House is just to make sure that he gains honor. I think he loses victory points if he loses honor. And Yield No Ground is keep people out of your deployment zone. And what else was it? Control more objectives than your opponent. And that's pretty much it. And Ludvig Advin has Bring It Down, Retrieve Nephilim Data, and Hidden Path. And Hidden Path is controlling his warp gate.
All that big webway gate.
The big webway gate thingy. And if we can go and take a quick review. We mentioned Hesselberg's list before it crashed. It's one big knight and a ton of small knights. While
a bunch of meltguns.
A lot of meltguns, a lot of melee knights. And Ludvig's list is a classic mortal wound spam shuriken cannon list with a lot of warwalkers and Viper jet bikes and some swooping hawks and so on. Sadly, we were so busy trying to fix the stream again, so I will go out and take a quick look of what has happened on the table, so we're all back on track.
So Ludde plays a far-flung craft world with Hail of Doom. He has a relic, a Theory Council unit with Protect Jenks, Smite, Azurman.
Yes, it is Azurman. I double check what happened while we were gone. Hesselberg has charged one of his knights in the. We can see it in the bottom center. He charged it into Ludde's lines. Sadly, Ludde is so far back, so most of his army is clipped. We have and he lost 2 walkers, some rangers. So not much happening there in the first turn. And yeah, right. Honor the house. He cannot move towards his own deployment zone, so to speak, his table edge. So it would be the shorthand side on the left side. So now it's Ludvig's turn 1.
Apart from Azurman, Ludde plays a Farseer Skyrunner with Doom, Executioner, Mark of the Incomparable Hunter, Pistol, Champion of the Eldari, Relic Twin, Churiken Catapult, Colonel's Bow. Is the usual, like, doing a bunch of damage. Go fast, fast.
Go fast, kill.
Yes.
Go fast, kill. Whoopsie daisy. That was not meant to.
As the troops, Ludde plays a Corsair Void Reavers with Shuriken rifles, and I do have no clue what they really do, but I think they're the Eldar kill team box.
The Void Reavers.
Yeah.
The Corsair Void Reavers. Yeah, exactly. That's the kill team box. I'm not sure of the stats on those guys, but I've seen many Eldar players picking them as some sort of scout unit. I'm not sure.
Probably cheap as well, but
probably.
And then he has a 5-man unit of rangers. Then Ludde plays a 10-man unit of Dire Avengers, 5 Hollowing Banshees with a Crone Sword, 10 Swooping Hawks, 3 Vipers.
Yeah, 3 Vipers with Shuriken cannons.
4 Warwalkers.
I think 6 Warwalkers in total.
Yeah, 6. Then Farseer Ranger. Another 2 10s of Dire Avengers. There's the Vipers. Yeah, so it's basically a bunch of Shuriken shots and smites.
Yeah, he's more or less banking on those mortals. Sadly, it's not that good against knights. They have too much toughness, too many wounds. So yeah, it's gonna be a rough ride for Ludelito. And he's facing probably the best knight player at the tournament.
You could argue for Bebe.
What?
Bebe beat Hesselberg in Gates.
Yeah, sure. He beat Hesselberg at Gates of Westeros, but still, Knights is a pretty binary matchup. It's you can't do much fancy things Knights versus Knights. It's if 2 good players with Knights go up against each other, well, then luck plays a big part in that matchup. But we will see if it makes a difference here. So I think Ludvig has gone into the shooting phase. I wonder how he's gonna deal with a knight that's tied up in melee in his deployment zone. I think it's gonna be quite hard to remove it in an easy way. You kind of needs to fall back and then try to shoot it off the board, but then Hesselberg will just send in the next knight and the next knight and the next knight. So it will be an endless train of knights just tying up his entire army, while Hesselberg scores all the objectives. Because as we can see, he has 4 of them sorta centered down, 3 of them up high. Sure, he can't move past the ruin on the top hand side, so he must go on the southern side of the top ruin. But yeah, he can easily start running over into Ludde's side of the board and start Närling is commenting, oh my god, that deployment on the webway gate. That is how it's supposed to look, Närling. It's supposed to look like common help me. Yeah.
I mean, at least they cleaned up the rules regarding placing it a bit.
Yeah, but then you can do silly stuff like that. It's facing the wrong direction.
I know.
It's super stupid.
I mean, they fixed it.
Yeah, fixed it. Quotation marks. I think he played the Fire and Fade. That's a messed up bike squad. Time for charges. Caused a few mortals when he charged in.
Yeah, I think that one of the best ways Ludvig has to actually deal with knights is Asserman. He can do a bunch of wounds and stuff.
Yeah. I will double check see if Ludvig is hiding something in the center right hand ruin. Okay, Ludvig managed, he hit everything, wounded everything and destroyed the tiny knight. He has a unit of guys standing in the ruin on the far right hand side corner, so he's holding 3 objectives, I think. Now he should consolidate onto the objective, yeah, exactly. So now he's holding all of the objectives. He will get charged again next turn. But he's keeping it tight. Now they're done, I will go out and fetch the scoring. So it's quite a tight game so far. We have 6 points to Ludvig and 10 points for Hesselberg, old papa.D. and both of them are at 0 command points.
They have been using their command points.
Yes, but that's no surprise. Both of them started with few command points, and they will want to burn them.
Yep.
But quite a close game so far. But I think this is a game Hesselberg can just keep on going and going and going. Sure, he lost 2 knights, if I count correctly. But he can just keep doing this all game. And now he's getting some crossfire down towards the gate thingy. And Ludvig will start teleporting stuff in through the gate.
Yeah. The critical turn becomes turn 3, because then Ludvig has to commit everything to the board somehow.
Yeah. Somehow. And this is... If Ludvig can keep this up, then it will be a good game for him. Good-ish, at least.
I mean, I would be pretty happy if this turns out like 17-3 or something.
Yeah.
If it's like
73 would be a good score for Ludde.
If everything goes to plan. Barring abnormal dice and stuff.
Yeah, but barring super spikes. But the good thing with casting knights is that you can see the models very easily.
Yes.
And Hesselberg's turn are quite quick. He even needs to move 10 models.
I mean, if you clock out as a knight player, what are you doing?
You took a little bit of a snooze after turn 2.
So we are playing with clocks.
Yeah,
If the players wish it.
I don't think they are playing with a clock though.
I don't think it would be an issue. Both players are
No,
experienced.
they're very experienced, and Ludde is a quick player. Even though he clocked out against Sami 2 years ago, in the Drukari versus Drukari fight they had.
I mean, that might be because he hadn't played a lot with clock, I guess.
Nah, he played some with the clock, but when you meet a friend, you usually end up chatting a little bit and stuff like that, and all of a sudden the time runs out.
Yep.
And they had plenty of time, but if you choose to play with the clock, then you play with the clock. And here we see it. Hesselberg has now moved up on all the buttons. He's applying the pressure with his melee knights. Ludde is stuck where he is. Now we will probably have to fight 2 melee knights rather than just 1. The odds of him killing all of them, like both of them in melee, is quite slim. And Hesselberg now has 10 models on Ludde's objective. So Ludde needs to remove one of them.
Yep.
Or he probably needs to remove both of them, to be honest. Unless he kills one of the knights in melee, can consolidate onto the objective, and have obsec on it.
The webway gate can do some pretty funky stuff. It can bring models in closer than...
Yeah, you can bring them into melee even.
Yeah.
And it counts as charging. So, yeah, we will see what he brings in. But I think most of the stuff he's bringing in is stuff like Howling Banshees. They maybe can kill a small knight with a bit of luck. But what will he do about the big knight that's coming in next turn? That's 24 wounds of pure massacre. Because Hesselberg can sacrifice that big knight if he wants to.
I mean, can he though? I mean, then he gives up a bunch of points. Like
Yeah, that's
potential.
true. He has bring it down. But the thing is, I don't think Ludvig can kill it. Like, even if he shoots now, and he lucks out and get a lot of mortal wounds, I don't think it will die.
Probably not.
Yeah. And probably if it doesn't die, then it will just walk away, shoot, charge, and keep on messing up his small units that Ludde needs to score the game later.
I mean, next turn the big knight will be on top of the structure, and then it gets harder for Ludde to score his secondaries.
Yeah. And the northern flank for Ludde looks a bit weak. It's only some war walkers. Okay, so no line of sight no line of sight down south, so we will shoot the guys controlling the objective on the top end side instead. Oh, that was a lot of hits. Six wounds. I expect some dead pointy... Oopsie daisy, I think all of them died. Yes. So Ludde is off the objective. Doesn't look too good. Doesn't look too good.
Your bet is probably going down the drain
as
we speak.
Yeah, I didn't want this matchup either. For everyone who's wondering what we're talking about, me, the tournament organizer, and the Närling in the chat, we had a little bit of a betting where we betted on people. Hesselberg is Närling's pick, and it looks good for you. And Ludde was my 5th pick, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah, I don't really know what Ludde is gonna do now. He really needs all of the small ones to die down south.
I mean, he talked about he could do like 30-ish mortal wounds, but then everything has to be able to hit them.
Yeah, sure, he might be able to do 30, but will it be enough? He's lost at least some. 2 war walkers, that's like a 4th of his firepower, of his heavy firepower.
Yeah, it doesn't look good.
But we will see the counterplay from Ludde. He can't start losing objectives like this. He needs to be able to push back. But Ludde, when I spoke to Ludde before the game, he said he wanted first turn just to make sure that Hesselberg doesn't do this. Obviously, he didn't get the first turn. So Hesselberg is doing this. And with this,
Mommy, I'm doing it.
Yeah, Hesselberg took his little tricycle and just biked all the way into Ludde's deployment zone and started beating him up. A classic Hesselberg move, I would say. Like that one game when I faced Hesselberg quite a few years ago, I managed to move 6 inches out of my deployment zone. I killed like everything in Hesselberg's army, but I couldn't move out of my deployment zone. I lost 20-0.
You played Admec. Right?
Yeah, I played Admec. So Hesselberg has moved in with his mini knights, he's sweeping. I must double check what's actually standing there. It's just a few howling banshees and 2 war walkers. That's
so
out of sight.
What do they have in reserve? What's in the webway gate?
I will double check what's in the web gate. So in the webway we have a whole bunch of Dire Avengers and Azurman. And sure, Azurman, he can, depending on his miracle dices, he could have 9 mortal wounds in his pocket.
Yeah.
So if Ludde has been saving up miracle dices for that move, he could more or less snipe one knight, just boom. But can a hail of shuriken catapults destroy a knight? Or take off the last wounds of the knight?
I mean, it could plink off some wounds. I mean, if they actually go through, the main issue is to wound them, right?
Yeah.
Because he gets the AP if he rolls a 6. And I don't know, but I think Ludde has access to a stratagem that makes some of his attacks auto wound on 6s.
Yeah, right. That would be quite nice.
So that's the way forward, I think. If you're actually trying to kill the knight, it's like committing and using that on the scariest thing that can have it. Probably
exactly.
the Dire Avengers.
Yeah, and so he will probably re-secure the bottom in his turn. But can he keep it? Because he's more or less lost the northern side of the map.
Yeah.
In next turn, Hesselberg will move in, and that's pretty much it. It doesn't really matter what he does. In the south, his home objective is secure for the moment, at least, since there is a few Dire Avengers hiding behind the... Okay, the Holy Banshee Exarch moves up. Oh yeah, correct, Beschenbauer. It's it's 1st of October,
Excellent.
but we have no orcs on the stream. But Björn, the fan favorite from last Fanatic, or the Grand Fanatic, I think he got 16 points in his first game.
Yeah, he did well.
Yeah, he did well. So maybe we will see him. I don't think he's gonna be on the top tables, but we will double check on Björn. I can go double check on him right now. After all, it's October.
Orcs.
Orcs. So you entertain.
Entertain, damn it. So now Ludvig is trying to move something. So, is anyone of you guys hobbying while watching? What are you working on? So what Ludvig probably gonna do is to bring out some firepower that he can fire and fade back to try to ship stuff off or actually kill them. With some luck, the knights might explode and hurt each other. Here goes a viper for Doing some housework, Beckenbauer. That's nice. So what the Viper is trying to do is A, get some firing lanes, B, actually move block the knights, if possible. Ludvig probably gonna get the points by just towing objectives and like not bleeding too many of his models in a turn. Yeah, the knights are pretty strong. They have some good matchups into most of the field, or at least not bad ones. They have a pretty good matchup into Tyranids, which is one of the other good armies. They have a pretty nice Necron matchup as well.
Yeah, and they're kinda difficult to lose big with.
Yeah, I would say so as well.
So they're quite solid. I double
If they play this like a lot of small ones, if you play like a couple of big ones, then you start to lose on objective capabilities.
You sort of kind of need to play this spamming small guy lists, otherwise you get stomped. I double checked with Björn. They're still in turn 1, beginning of Björn's turn 1. He's facing off against Chaos, so he has 20 Terminators in the front of his army at the moment. I think that's dead Terminators, though.
It's still kind of funny.
It's really funny. And when I reminded him that it was October, he screamed, "October!" I would suggest that you check it on the BCP app. But it has
Best Coast pairings if you're at a computer.
Yeah, best coast pairings, and then you just look for. If you just write Fantasia, then you will get the tournament. It is XLII, Fantasia Fanatic XLII. But he's playing a speed freak mob with a bunch of bikes and some Deathcoptas and just a bunch of buggies and a really fun list. The best coast pairing, or BCP, is the app name. Yes, and I spoke a bit to Ludde when I went out. Ludde seemed to have that idea that he will retake the southern flank, and he's gonna try to tie up the knights in the top right just to make sure that they don't get to shoot. It's a risky play.
Yeah.
But he just needs to make sure that they stop shooting. I don't really know that move, though. He's putting them away from the objective. Why?
I have no clue.
What I want to see is that Ludde has a bit of ice in his stomach and he doesn't move that Howling Banshee. Because then he has movement blocked the big knight. Where Marel 65, where do I see the results? Either in between the games we will post the standings, or again the BCP app. Then just look for Fantasia Fanatic XLII and you can see the results. At the moment it's a bit messy. I would recommend checking it after it, because we had a lot of 20-0 games. Like the top 12 at the moment all tabled their opponents and played 20-0 games. So we will probably see a bit more indication of where this tournament is going after this game.
Yeah, I mean generally tournaments that more than 3 rounds would be pretty much sorted after round 2.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or at least turn 3, or like round 3.
Yeah, we're still having a bit of the wonky matchups. For example, I don't think Hesselberg should face Ludvig if it was game 3. But Ludvig's army is really strong against something that ain't knights.
Yeah.
So we have a bit of psychic. I think he's throwing Doom and Guide. Doom!
Fishing them 6s.
Yes, fishing all them 6s. There came the guide. I think we're going into the shooting phase.
Now we're gonna see Lud roll a bunch of dice.
A bucket. Or
Yes.
2. I think he deployed... I think that's all of the Dire Avengers.
That's a lot of Dire Avengers. That's
Yeah.
like 30.
Probably. Only
Well, he committed. You can say nothing else.
Can only players at the event see the lists?
I don't think so. I mean, I'm not at event and I can see them.
Yeah.
But I'm paying for the app as well. But I don't think it should be.
No, I think everyone should be able to see the lists. I must double check. Because I'm not at the event either. Or, well, I'm at the event, but you guys know what I'm talking about.
He's not enrolled in the tournament.
Nope. So let's see. Best Coast pairings. Or maybe I am. Nope. So let's see here. Search. Event name. Fantasia. Apply.
So
40K.
Ludvig is considering whether to use his Strands of Fate dice. Strands of Fate is Eldar mechanic that...
Oh, I can't see them either. So maybe it's just because you're paying for the app.
Fair enough. Well, that's a shame.
You're right. I can't see them either. So it's probably because the man to my right here is paying for the app. But you wanted to see the Björn's list, correct? Because I can go into the tournament organizer app and check it that way. Oh my god. Come on, just load.
The internet usage here is the strong one.
Yes. Björn Eriksson. View. Nej. Can't I go roster? Björn Eriksson. View list. He has Evil Sons. He play Evil Sons, Warboss, and Wartrike. Warlord, brutal but cunning is the Warlord trait, and he has the Killer Claw. 1, 2, 3 units of Nob Warbikes, minimum size. Only will shop us, no upgrades. 3 units of Warbikers, minimum size, no upgrades. Vasboom Blaster Jet with nothing special, and another Outrider with another Death Killer Wartrike with no upgrades. 1 unit of 6 Death Coptas, and then 3 units of Scrap Jets, one in each, and then he has Rukatruk Squig Buggies. 1 of them, and 1 Shockjup Drankstas, and another Wasboom Blaster Jet.
Orc names.
Thank you, Nyling. You hero. Yeah, it's a really cool list. I hope it goes well. Well enough to show on stream would be amazing. Yeah, and you could have posted the link, but it's not the entire list either. But it's a bunch of bikes and Death Coptas. It's amazing. It censored the link, I guess. Really weird. Don't really know why I did that. Probably you can't post commercials for other services or something like that. But if you guys have any questions on lists, just say what list you want to see and we can read it up for you. So Ludvig is splitting the fire a little bit, hoping to destroy several of the knights. I don't know if that's a mistake.
Generally, you want to focus fire until something's dead.
Yeah, dead.
Because dead knights don't shoot back.
Yeah, but half dead knights shoot back and fight back and stand on objectives and...
Yes.
Yeah, and... I really like how it censored the link, but not vad fan. It's just me that find that really strange. Yes, I picked Ludde. It was my 5th pick. So, it's not going well for me.
Shit just hit the fan and we're gonna see the spread.
And there will be a very thinly spread Ludde all across the board.
I mean, it doesn't look too bad, but we're gonna see in a turn or so.
If Ludde can tag the knights and not die from the melee attacks, that would be great. Because he can't fall back and shoot, as far as I know, not the small knights.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, Närling is correct. Everything is decided in this moment. Ludde needs to clean the left-hand side and tie up the ones on the top. Oh, they have a 2 command point, fall back and shoot. Well, he will at least remove one of the guns. But Ludde is playing on a razor's edge at the moment. He really needs... But he's spreading out the wounds. I want to see things die. He can't spread out the wounds. He needs to kill, die. Again, he's spreading out the wounds. Don't really know which one of the units are shooting at the moment, but I feel like he should have focused on the south and then just pray that he can tie up the things in the north. I will double check how many wounds all of the knights have. Be right back.
Yes, vi har redan konstaterat det. Han är inte på bordet. Ja, vi löser det. Jag visste att han var på bordet. Ha det bra.
So,
Okay, Ludde is focus firing the north. He wants to shoot off the green in the center, the middle knight in the top center has 1 wound left. The gray seems to be full. I'm not sure. It may also have 8 wounds left. Hesselberg got a call while I was asking him. I think it was 8 wounds on the one behind the containers, the orange one, and the blue one is untouched. And it seems like he hasn't shot anything at the orange one in the south, in his deployment zone. I don't know about that. Because why does he care about killing the things in the north? He will lose that side no matter... Or is he planning on switching sides? He's thinking about going north with that huge infantry blob?
but he wants his secondary, right?
Yeah. So he kind of needs to stand where he's standing, at least leave something. Because he can just leave one guy and control it, and that's it.
Until a knight puts his foot there and...
Yeah, and until the big knight comes and stomps it. And also let's see if Ludde has ice in his stomach and leaves the Holding Banshee Exarch. Okay, so Ludde managed to shoot away one of the knights.
Yeah, he killed the 1 wound left guy, I think.
Yeah. Well, this is the... Oh, I don't know. Sure, now we will... But that doesn't change anything. He will tie up one knight, unless he want to make a little bit longer charge with the Viper jetbike and try to tie up both of them anyway. And he has fall back and shoot, so he can fall back onto the objective.
If he has the CP.
Yeah, if he has. If it's said, I don't think he has. He was talking about rotating iron shields. Hesselberg was talking about rotating his iron shields, and that would spend all of his command points.
Yep.
Yes.
Now he's charging?
Yeah, he charged. Just tying up one there. That's what I'm talking about. If he managed to milk away all of his command points, this is a good move. Otherwise, it's a nothing move.
Yeah. I mean, he can be a little bit in the way, possibly, but, like, not much.
Yeah, but and also he should have moved the maximum distance, then consolidate onto the other knight, tying them both up, removing 2 guns at the same time.
I don't know how good they fight when they're shooting knights.
They're not that good, so I think he can survive. The Viper have 4 wounds.
I'm not sure.
I think he should be able to take it. He's only damage 1. He has a save. I don't know. I think it's a misplay. Okay, Ludde is charging the knight. Hesselberg decides just to remove it. He apparently thinks playing knights is a bit too slow, so he needs to fast play stuff. But no. Did Hesselberg... What did he do now? Did he counter? Oh, heroic intervention, 6 inches. Right. Heroically intervened into it. Ah, okay, then it was the good move, just charging. Because the Exarch would have been dead anyway. Oh, the Holding Banshee, does it have mortal wounds on charge?
I think the masks can do it, but I'm not sure. It got 6 wounds.
6 wounds. Then he should charge both of them. Or I think he should have charged both of them, tie both of them up. I think Asserman went in to fight the knight. Knight takes 2 wounds on the orange. The -1 damage coming in there quite nicely.
One of the extra parts.
He didn't tag. Oh, excellent. I thought he based the other model, but he has played it well. He is... What?
The nerve shredding shriek can generate a mortal wound. But apart from that, it doesn't seem to have any.
Oh, then the knight must have been on 1 wound, since Hesselberg removed it when he charged. So Hesselberg is punching back. We're not sure where.
Our resident noisemaker
Has shouted again. I don't know if the mic picked it up, but yeah, he shouted. I think we are at the Viper. The Viper survived. Excellent. So the knight is punching back at Asserman. Okay, you heard him. All according to tradition.
and now we have him really away from the streaming table.
I must double check how far off he is.
Probably out the side of the room. Or the hall. He's a nice guy, though.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. He's so far away I can't see him.
Still heard him, though.
Yeah. His voice travels.
Yeah.
Like a backpacker. Well, I am concerned of Ludde's position right now.
I think that the Ludvig's inexperience with playing against knights. I don't know how much he's played against them. I mean,
A scoreboard uppdaterat. Do you mean in the BCP app or our scoreboard?
our scoreboard is not up to date as of this moment. They should be in turn 2, right?
What do you mean?
I mean, victory points and you still turn 1 according to the.
Oh, it's Okay, it's turn 2. And they're just finishing turn 2 right now, so I am going to double check. Yeah, Ludde has played a lot against knights, against Bebe's knights. I will go and check the score.
Ludde said before the tournament that this is like their first, like, really first test for his Eldar this edition, at least. He hasn't practiced with this list as much as he has in the past, so it might be a little bit of knowing the limits of the specific lists, but he's at added disadvantage for sure.
Well, he's expanding the lead. Let's see here, go back to the full table. Hesselberg goes up during turn 2 from 10 to 31 points.
That's a lot of points.
Yeah, and Ludde is lagging behind. He scored a little bit more now. He's up to 15. They're still completely drained on command points, as to be expected. It's
Throwing haymakers.
Yeah, they're throwing haymakers. But yeah, Ludde has played a lot against Benjamin Huvuden, who is also well, we were expecting him to play well this tournament. He's also playing knights, and the experience is Ludde's experience is that he has a hard time against knights.
Yeah.
So we're not expecting anything else that's happening, but he kind of needs to score some more points if he wants to avoid getting owed in this rate. Right now he's losing with 5 points. Yeah, 5 points. So yeah, he needs to do something. What happened to that knight? We have a train going.
Choo choo!
Okay, so he just did a little bit of shuffling there. He used it to measure base size.
Yeah. I mean, what Hesselberg is talking about is the knights pressing a button.
That's the...
One of his secondaries is an action that you should take when
Yeah.
you're in the center, but he puts it that the knight pressing the button.
Yeah, but he always talks about you need to stand on buttons. It's really, really funny. As we go straight into the shooting phase, he's blasting away at those Dire Avengers as he should. He will probably kill all of them, I would guess. The fun thing is, he says Kling shoots da da da, because all of his knights, we can't see it on the stream, but all of his knights have a little banner with the name of the knight on it.
Yep.
And they all have like really silly names.
I wonder where Clang is.
I think Klang is the gray, the gray bot on in the
So the
top
police
center.
are split.
Obviously, well, you cover a bigger area if you split.
Fair enough.
Kling and Clang. And the Viper goes down. Well, he saves himself a few shots in the face at least. Yeah, the one is shooting at the Warwalkers, and he's also shooting the center blob of Dire Avengers. And the big knight can charge into Azerman. I think this is the game-ending turn.
Yeah. As Nerling said.
The decision of Ludde, sure, he cleaned out the... No, he didn't clean out the lower side, and I think that was a huge mistake. He should just have dealt with the small knights in the south, rather than trying to shoot a few wounds on the knights in the north.
I think he loses more on his secondary game than...
Yeah...
Because he wants to walk the hidden paths and control that warpway gate thingy-mabob.
Yeah, but he could have controlled his objective and the warp thing thingy-mabob with the Dire Avengers, because they're obsec, right?
I'm not sure anymore. I think they're
They're maybe
actually
elites nowadays. Yeah, right. So it didn't really matter.
Yeah, they're elites.
Yeah, they're elites. That's...
Now there's only Rangers, Guardians, Corsair, Void Reavers, Storm Guardians, and Harlequins.
Okay. Well, then... Never mind what we said. Then putting them in a central position is probably preferable. Because then at least had the options of moving both north and south. The big knight is shooting. We don't really know what it's shooting, but it's shooting something with a holy balubas amount of meltas. We really need a coffee maker in here.
I mean, we could probably find an IV bag.
Now I need to moisten my throat. It needs to be moist.
Excellent. Okay. There's command point ability that gives a unit objective secure, but then he needs to be another craftful, which he's not. For the Dire Avengers, they can use that one, but they're in the wrong craft world.
Yeah, well,
Altazar.
Mice Farson, do we sell our objective markers? Yes, we do at the event at least. I don't.
Yeah, I think if you go to Fantasia North shop.
Yeah, if you go to Fantasia, just search for Fantasia North shop on Google. I think they sell their objective markers.
Yeah, should at least.
Or head down to the event at Dragonskolan in Umeå and you will be able to buy them. I don't think they're that pricey. I think they're quite cheap.
I don't know, but they are a pretty good investment because it takes a lot of hassle out of the game, measuring and stuff.
Yeah. Having those mouse mat objective markers is like golden. It's so good. It's so easy. Just put them on the table. Done. And they're easy to carry as well. They don't weigh much. Don't take up much space in your bag, so you can just bring them to tournaments and stuff. And you always get the correct measurement for an objective, so you always know if you're on it or not. Azerman is super dead, and he consolidates into the pile of tiny men, or just...
So we're gonna river dance a bit?
Nah, he killed Azerman on the charge, so he will probably river dance next turn.
Probably. I mean, I don't know if he got a huge...
I think the chainsaw is better than river dancing.
Yeah, for sure.
River dancing was in 8th edition, and it was super funny.
Yeah, you did more damage with your feet than with a big sword.
Yeah, it was super silly. And you had like 15 attacks or something like that, and then you just went river dance. I was about to do a Lord of the Dance reference, but I don't know if people remember Lord of the Dance. It was super popular here in Sweden. Commercials all the time of Irish people just stomping on the floor. Amazing. 10 out of 10.
Would see again.
Would see again. Everything is 15% off during the tournament. Hashtag ad, yeah. Fantasia North has 15% off for today and tomorrow. So any orders placed during that time will be 50% off. So if you're gonna pick up, like, what will you pick up? Whatever you want to pick up, pick it up now. They have a ton of Votan boxes.
But didn't they get voted down?
What? Voted down? Ah, you're funny, man. It was so dumb I didn't understand it. I want 3 of those boxes. I want them so bad. I love the miniatures. They're so cool.
You need a slower Admech army.
Exactly, I need a slower Advin army. They're awful. But we're not going to talk about Vota now. We still have a little bit of melee. He's trying to punch the knight with his fists. It's not going so well. I forgot to update the turn counter. We are in turn 3 at the moment.
He got a Reaper Chainsword. The quester.
Yeah, it has the sword. I don't think anyone plays with the fists.
Do you know what the damage profile it has?
Isn't it just if you do the biggie punch, it's like straight 5 damage, and if you do the sweeps, it has damage 2 or something like that? It has quite nice damage profile. Or is it even damage 3? It's I never worried about it because I play Tyrannids. I just charge the thing, kill it, and then it's over with. I think it's damage 3. I think it one-shots warriors, but I'm not certain. And yeah, chat, if you have any questions about, if you're checking the BCP and have any question about any game that's ongoing at the moment, then let us know. We can go and have a look and see how things are going. Well, things seem to be slowing down. Maybe I should go and check out on the Orktober army, see how it's going. So, Lenart, hold the fort while I go check with the only Orc. No, we have 2 Orc players, I think. Be right back.
We're in a little bit of a lull. I think the players are discussing something. Them sneaky pointy heirs doing Eldar stuff, but need to do more Eldar stuff. Oh.
I checked 2 ongoing games. Sami versus Tyranids. It's really on the razor's edge there as well. Sami's playing knights. The Tyranids are about to charge in, but the lucky thing is that the Fly Tyrant did not get onslaught. So he's just standing there like a fool. But the rest of it is ready to charge. So it will be interesting there. The Björn Eriksson game, it was so messy. We had the huge 10-man blob of Terminators just standing in the middle of 100 bikes in Björn's deployment zone. But Björn seemed to be able to take some table, so he's also hanging on the razor's edge there. And here we see Ludde. He does not want to punch a knight to death in melee. So he's scooching away a little bit, moving up the Warwalker to take the objective again, but that's a Warwalker with a death wish. Moves up a Viper to retake the objective together with some... what they're doing is they're just measuring to see where the Viper must stand so that it doesn't get heroically intervened.
Which is 3 inches or 6 inches, depending on what rule you have.
I think he has a... I think he can get a 6-inch heroic intervention. I think. As I said, when I face knights, I'm usually the one doing the charging. And he snuck in a Viper jet bike on the other, and I think he has something else standing in Hesselberg's half as well. I will check what it is. He snuck in a unit of Dire Avengers in the bottom left corner. We can see a few bases of them sticking out. And I heard when I was running past that they were doing retrieve Nachmund. No, not Nachmund. We're in Nephilim data. They're retrieving something at least, and it's probably some sort of data. Swooping Hawks are swooping their way over to the northern side, probably in order to prepare for being sacrificed. So he's playing it safe, putting them behind the ruin. I think they check the movement to see how far if he moves up north, how much line of sight does it have. So probably the best move, placing them behind the ruin just to make them super safe. Yeah.
A lot of talking, a lot of pointing.
Yeah, there's a lot of talking, a lot of pointing. Something about Ludde should do some actions, but Ludde don't really know where to do the action. I can hear Ludde think. Yeah, he's doing the thinking sound.
I thought it were more like
the Steve. I think Ludde looks kind of calm. He's focused. He's in the game. He's not raging.
he's not going down to the salt mine.
No. I think he's in the game. He's playing to keep those points. He looks focused. I think all the massages I gave him before the game really worked. as mentioned, we've betted on different players who is going to win, score the most points, and then we count all the points they've scored during the event, and the guy with the most point wins. I'm not looking too hot at the moment. I think Dia is in the lead.
Maybe.
Dia was gonna post the score for that, but I don't really know if he's managed it yet. Let's see. Dia, you beautiful, beautiful man. Here we have the... yes, I am last after the first round with 24 points. Dea is second with 39, and Jonathan is in the lead with 40. And I really hope Bebe scores a lot of points this round, otherwise I am more or less out. So we are still in a psychic phase.
It's really hard for us. We can hear some of what they're saying, but not a lot. We don't have a tabby on mic. It's really hard to know what they're talking about sometimes. But some psychic powers are used, probably Doom. Or some Smite ability, I would imagine. A lot of dice cost. Not, I don't know what.
He's just throwing spells. The last guy was thinking about casting Guide, but I think Ludde is feeling the pressure, so he instead decided to cast a Smite. And that is not the position you want to be in. You want to be able to cast your buffing powers rather than your damage powers. Because a D6 mortal wounds, that's not gonna do that big a difference in the end. Unless you're picking off something really, really small.
I mean, that's one of the hard parts about playing Eldar. They're very fragile.
Yeah.
And need some synergy between the units.
Yeah.
And some buffing spells to be really, really good.
Yeah, they need those synergies to play the game. And the problem here is that Ludde is going for this weight of shots kind of build when he's facing knights that they just look at that and say, oh, really, give me that punishment master, and then they don't really care about it. As we can see here. Because Ludde is really crumbling. He's crumbling very slowly, but he's crumbling.
That's an art in itself. Crumble so slowly that you don't.
Yeah, well, I think Ludde has played a good game, even though it's questionable that he shot the top rather than the bottom. Giggity. But he's losing slowly. And maybe it's so slow that Hesselberg only gets 18, 19 points.
Maybe.
But as we mentioned before, Ludde is losing assets really quickly. And the more he loses, the harder he has to score the bring it down points. And Hesselberg can just keep on go, keep pushing, keeping the honor up. Ludvig seems to be rolling a ton of dice out of sight. Maybe he's going for the out of sight, out of mind type of play. A few armor saves.
He's trying to do a strike and disappear.
Something like that. So Ludvig is trying to shoot off the knight from the objective so that he can score that. It would be quite big if he could steal that objective from Hesselberg. And the problem is he doesn't kill it, they all heal because he's playing Mechanicum.
Yeah. How much do they heal each turn?
One wound each turn.
Okay.
So you rather just kill it and have it over with than leaving it on one wound.
So like Necrons.
Yeah, just like Necrons.
You don't leave models.
Nope, you kill models. Preferably by smiting, or bombing, or spore mines, or other mortal wounds means. And they're bumping the table. Everything is shaking. Excellent. Thank God our ghetto solution with duct tape is still working. We've stabilized the camera with duct tape. Like all professionals do. But we forgot to say thank everybody who is watching and is participating in the chat. It's really nice to have you here. I hope to see you tomorrow as well when Lenart, you are not streaming with me tomorrow, right?
No.
Nope, so I'm counting on you guys in the chat to keep me entertained. But we're working on a more professional streaming setup so that we can give you better quality streams in the future. We will try to fix it. It looks like we're going to games of... we're planning on going to games of Westeros, the Gates of Westeros, and stream their game. It's not confirmed yet, so don't force me to go there if I can't. But it looks like we're gonna stream that tournament as well. That's good, that's good. I like to see people being here, so I know it gets so lonely. Yeah, the first game is really, really early, so I understand if you stream in later, but you're always welcome. Always welcome. Double save from... Hesselberg is rolling some spice. I can hear him almost complaining about his own save rolls. I want to see how many wounds he's on. Oh, the Formula 1? Okay, I have no comments. One moment, be right back. Oh, that was rough. Hesselberg had some lucky saves on the blue knight, so he's left on one wound. So now it heroics intervenes into the Viper jetpack. If Ludvig could have taken that one out, that would be really big. He would deny Hesselberg 4 points, because now he will not have control more. It wouldn't have done that much of a difference now I think about it, because he controls 2. But it's sad, we lost 1 asset for nothing, basically. So now they're counting the points. Be right back.
Ja, du hade dödat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 knights, så det var 12.
Yeah, we have an update on the scoring. We will just... Dibby-dibby-doo. Hesselberg goes up to 53 victory points. And Ludde the Great goes to 31. Ludde is still keeping... He's still in the game. He's not getting 20-0'd yet. But the problem is Hesselberg is scoring more on primary. Has a bigger chance of scoring his secondaries. He just needs to make sure to not move back. He just needs to move forward. And Ludde hasn't done any fatal damage. Hesselberg still has too many assets. If he could kill like 2 more small knights, so he's already killed 6, but he needs to kill 2 more, then Hesselberg at least can stand on all the bottoms he wants to stand on. And it's turn 4, yes, thank you. Thank you, Lenart, for pointing out that I hadn't changed that. So, excellence. Now everything is as it should be. Okay, Hesselberg. Yeah, he wanted to shoot the Dire Avengers doing receive auxiliaries data in the south, but he realized that the ruin is obscuring. But he will shoot from the other side instead, it seems. Some thinking from Hesselberg how he wants to do this. He's considering running into the Dire Rangers and sweep them. He's moving back, so he decided to not get victory points for not moving towards his own table edge.
That's such easy secondary to mess up.
Yeah, it is. Especially when you get teleporting units that go behind your lines, then you sorta kinda have to turn around to kill them. Especially in his list, because he uses so many melee knights. But I'm still impressed. Ludde has kept up, because we did the math and we were like, he should kill 2 small knights per turn. And he has killed exactly 2 small knights each turn.
Yeah. It sounds about right. It feels about right. Yeah. And math checks out.
Yeah, but the thing is, Ludde has started losing a lot of assets from turn 1, so I think it's been a good game from Ludde. It's much closer than I expected. But for anyone who wonders, this is 99% Hesselberg's game.
I mean, Ludvig doesn't have any like end game scoring stuff that's gonna give him a huge point boost. So
They have calculated the bring it down score as they play.
so nice of them.
Yeah, so that we can see how much it is. At least I think they do. They did first turn, so I guess they have kept on doing it.
If they bring it down points is not in that, then we're closer than we think.
Yeah, then it's really close, but I don't think it is.
No.
I'm quite sure they calculate that as they go. So now Ludde has lost the topmost objective, but he's still controlling 2 at least, unless Hesselberg just shoots off the bike. For the Direveniers, the knight can apparently see the... yeah, it can see the Viper standing on the objective. Three saves on the Viper, I think. It's dead. Yeah. Well, I think all hope is lost now. Now Ludde has a few bikes, a few Direvengers. He will not be able to rod anymore. He can't hold objectives anymore.
Wait, what did he roll there?
Not sure, but he didn't remove anything, so... Big night. Let's double check if he has a lot of stuff in that corner, or if it's just a few units. He has a Farseer and 2 Warlocks standing behind the bikes. Seer Council standing behind the bike in the bottom right hand side. Yeah.
He'll probably get some points.
Yeah, you can't deny all of them. He will still score his objective in the middle right hand side because he's still hiding some... I think it was Direvengers behind it. So that is kinda safe-ish. But the problem is, where does he rod? Or R&D, I suppose it's now. No? Yeah, R&D. Because I guess he's done it in 3 corners. In his swooping hawks, I guess he could jump them up into the top right hand side and try R&Ding there, but they will get shot by something. Minimum 1 of the knights, because he can move the left hand side grey knight up to shoot at them, even if they hide behind the ruin. Maybe even the one at the bottom bottom left objective as well. Okay, he will not move that because it's dead. What did it die from?
Maybe an explosion?
I think he charged it and he overwatched.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but Ludde don't really want to take that objective. Two mortal wounds and 7 saves. Six dead in total. Well, soon Ludde and Hesselberg has the same amount of models on the table.
Very sly.
Yes. They will have a quick cleanup.
Sure. Well, the last round for today starts if everything goes according to plan. 10 minutes past 5
Swedish time, so
Swedish time.
So +1.
Or -1. Depending where in the world you're living.
GMT +1.
Yep. Sure.
I will double check, see if they are about to shake hands or... I will see. Yeah, okay. Ludde is not giving up. The big bad mean guy has 14 mortal wounds, 14 wounds, and Ludde goes, "Yeah, well, I should be able to mortal wound that." I love his self-confidence. But yeah, Ludde is doing what he needs to. He's moving up to the objectives, putting as many stuff as possible on the objectives. So he has a harder time shooting everything off. If he managed to kill that big knight without it exploding. And Ludvig gets no command points now because he's not holding the middle objectives. And Hesselberg still gets command points because he's holding like all of the objectives. So the thing is, if that big thing dies, then
that's a chunk for bring it down.
There's a big chunk for bring it down. He also keeps himself in the game because then they control the same amount of points, and Hesselberg can't move and take another point. Realistically, he can shoot Ludde off the bottom left objective, sure, but I don't think it's enough to 20-0 Ludde.
Unless something very weird happens, I don't think so either.
But it count. Then he must do 14 mortal wounds to that big fat guy.
I mean, on average, each smite is like 2 if it's a D3, or 3.5 if it's a D6.
Yeah, but Ludvig is still confident that he can do 14 mortal wounds.
Yeah, sure. I mean,
Uh,
if he super smites some.
Grim is asking if the Eldar is on a slippery slope ending under a night boot. It was always a slippery slope. Because Hesselberg got turn 1, charge, then he just that was what he wanted, so he can push one knight straight into Ludde's deployment zone, and he's just kept up the pressure on that objective, just forcing Ludde to sacrifice units into those guys. So it's been a slippery slope death since turn 1, but Ludde has... I want to say Ludde has played as well as he can, really. He's done a great job not losing quickly to him.
I mean,
he could have fell back onto his own objective with Dire Avengers and try to block out the big fat guy so that he could keep one of his objectives for one more turn. But in the end, I don't really think it mattered. The interesting thing is now, can Ludde kill the knight? Can he do 14 wounds to toughness 8 creature?
Well, he's doing his damnedest.
Yeah, he's doing his damnedest. And if he can kill it, I don't think it will be 20 points to Hesselberg.
I mean, he could do some with the two warlocks and the farseer, and then the gun.
Yeah, but how many mortal wounds can he spam out? He doesn't have that many assets left on the table. It's only a few, like 2 bikes. I think both of them have churiken cannons, but that can take 14 mortals. Why are you googling bows at the moment?
The relic, it's called bow something.
Okay.
I'm thinking that if that generates some mortal wounds from hitting on 6s or something, it's we might get over the edge, over the line, so to speak.
Yeah. But here we goes. Rerolling. I must double check how many wounds it has left. It's too exciting. Oh, it is destroyed. He had 1 wound left on the first salvo. It was a wound and a fail saved, and he took a reroll. It failed, and it didn't explode. The big guy is gone.
We're going there.
We're going there.
We're going places.
Yeah, Ludde will not win, but I think Ludde will not get ruffle stomped by Hesselberg, giving me a few points in the betting competition.
Which is the most important thing.
Well, for me it is. I have an honor to uphold, and I'm so far behind. Don't stop. I have honor somewhere. Deep in my love dungeon. Stop snickering. Okay, that was... I think it was big. They're calculating the points now, so I will go out and check if it was big.
Yes, jag har 3 knappar. Du har 3 knappar. Så vad ska vi göra då? Vi ska trycka på knapp.
Okay, so we have an update on the point situation. We have Big Papa.D, formerly known as Daniel Hesselberg, at 73 points, and Ludelito at 47. That's a difference of... I'm not doing the math on that one. I'm just gonna do the calculator way.
26
Minus...
20.
Yes, it's a 26 point difference going into turn 5. I must say I am very impressed. If Ludde isn't wiped, Ludde has actually played quite a decent game, I would say. Against his worst matchup, against the strongest knight player on the field. And he can't really move away from his objectives. He needs to stay where he is and just shoot. Is he risking moving up, shooting at something, and then charging the Dire Avengers just to push him off as many objectives as possible? Or what is happening here?
It is a little bit unclear.
Yeah, by the way, for anyone new on the stream, this tournament is playing the 20-0 system, so it's not a win-loss system as most tournaments play. You calculate the point difference between the player, and for every 5-point difference, they take 1 point from the enemy. So you start at 10-10, and if you win with 11 points, then you will have a 12-8 and so on, up to a 20-0. So just crushing your opponent, just winning is not enough, you need to crush your opponent. Hesselberg is asking if we can somehow get to the objective. Yes, a bike can get to the objective. And remember, Hesselberg kinda needs to kill everything now. Because Ludde can just score, because he scores at the end of his turn. So if the bike lives, then he can score 1. If the small dudes live, he can run up to the... Yeah, he's staying there. Yeah, that's the smart move. He needs to stand on the buttons. The Green Knight is gonna shoot the Dire Avengers. The Grey Knight is gonna shoot probably the bikes, I think. Yeah, Hesselberg is moving into the objective instead. Because he needs to hold 3, because Ludde will probably hold 3 unless he kills pretty much everything. So he's shooting the Viper. I will double check how healthy the Knights are. Hesselberg's Knights are quite healthy. It's only the Grey Knight in the top right objective that has damage, and he has 8 wounds. I thought it was 8 or 5. So it's quite healthy. I don't see it dying. So now he's finally blasted off the Dire Avengers from the objective. If he can run onto the top right objective, shoot Hesselberg off that objective, like a super lucky 5 wounds, kill it, that would be... then Ludde would score more than Hesselberg in the end, closing the gap a little bit. Probably making him win 1 more tournament point. I'm surprised how exciting this game turned out to be. I thought it was going to be a complete massacre of Ludde, but Ludde is playing as well as Ludde can play, I think. This is very well played.
He's playing the Eldar way. Sneaky.
Yeah, very, very sneaky. And he's still in the game. He still has 4 assets to move around with. Too bad they're a bit out of position.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it might be a 12-inch, like if he moves and advances 12 inches onto the objective and kills it. Okay.
Someone's had very strong opinions or something.
Okay, the Viper died. I think it exploded. Can it explode? And killed a guy. I must double check. Var det en Viper som small och dödade? Yes, it was. Whoops, daisy. Nothing disconnected. Everything's working. I got tangled up in the cables. Yes, the Viper exploded, and I think it killed a Farseer even.
Oh.
That was not what he wanted.
That was not what the doctor prescribed.
Nope, it was not what the doctor prescribed. That was unlucky. Well, let's see if Ludvig can do anything with this last turn. I think it will be a quick and painless round, so to speak.
I mean, it ain't much that they got left to play with.
No, not much. I think the only thing is advance into the objective if possible, and maybe he can get the bike over to that objective. I'm not sure, and then somehow, well, it doesn't have the guns.
I mean, if he had the bow gun, if he wounded, he would do a mortal wound instead. So he could do like 3 mortal wounds if he wounded everyone. That's 3.
He's keeping close to the web gate to keep scoring whatever the web gate thingamajig is called. The hidden path? No. Yeah, whatever the warp gate. When he needs control his warp gate. Yeah, they said he will get 60 or 64 points. So he will not be able to... Okay, he's moving up there. So Ludde has 6 models on the board. Yeah, and the things hiding in the right-hand side. So he's going for that knight. I didn't see any damage on it.
Then it might be hard.
Oh, he had a bunch of swooping hawks hidden.
Om han dör så får du 64, om han lever får du 60.
Yeah, so Ludvig is now playing to get 60 or 64 points. If he manages to shoot that guy off the table, he gets 64. Otherwise, he gets 60 points. Stop talking points. Get on with it.
Less talking, more shooting.
Yes, more Ratatatatata. Ratatatatata.
Wow. Hesselberg hasn't. So this is bottom of 5.
Yeah, this is bottom of 5. So if he kills it, it's dead. Then it becomes a 12-8 or something like that.
Yep. That's really good.
He rotates Iron Shields, of course.
I mean,
So
Dire
that's-
Avengers and Swimos can shoot so much.
Yeah, there's a lot of shots, but he's only wounding on 5s.
Yep.
So he needs a huge volume of shots to bring that down. But if he does, it's quite big. If Ludde manages to score 8 points against Hesselberg's Knights, that's a very good round for Ludde. He's probably living on the... I don't know if he cast both Guide and Doom. But he's re-rolling something.
He probably absolutely needs Doom to have reroll wounds.
But I don't know if he re-rolled hit or wounds.
I don't know either.
And Ludwig is rolling off screen, so we can't see. He's still rolling.
We can hear the rolling. We don't know what the result is.
It sounded like a lot of shots, like 23.
Whoa.
No, it can't be. It doesn't sound like 23 dice.
Men jag har letat för tjuring. Skjut honom och där.
Okay, I think he has 20 wounds at the moment.
Yep.
I will see how many wounds it has right now. And it's down. He took 6 wounds from the 20. He's saved above, no, less than average. But he should have died on averages as well.
Yep.
We have a game there. The total score, I will just double check. 64 for Ludde, I think. Vad blev det? 60?
Eller ja, 74 timmar. För mer målning. Så det blir precis 13.
So we ended up with a score of 74 for Ludde and a big 90 for Hesselberg, putting it on 17-3. Well, what can we say about this game? It was... Well, I think Ludde played a really good game here. He died very, very slowly, kept himself in the game until the end, until the last turn.
Eyes on the prize.
Eyes on the prize. he knew he was gonna lose, and he made sure to lose as slow as possible, only giving him like minimums all the time. Sure, he had to drop the huge bomb in the middle, and it was very, very exposed. But he really couldn't do anything else. And in the end, the units are still alive.
Yep.
Only 2 of them in each unit, but they're alive. They're doing what they should. Really well played by Ludde. He should be really proud of that one, even though he only scored 3 points. But during turn 2, I was certain this is going to be a 20-0. When Hesselberg starting to throw big stuff into your lines, and Ludde needs to commit so much to stop them.
Yeah, it isn't an easy position to be in.
Yeah, it's a very high pressure position. And that's the thing, when you get all of that pressure in your face for so many turns, starting from turn 1, you kind of start like losing it a bit. It's really hard to stay in the game and like just keep on playing your plan like Ludde did. So that was excellent play by him. We will have the next game in, when was it?
10 minutes past 5.
10 minutes past 5. So they played a bit faster than expected. Lenart, get in frame, you fool. Okay, we will just swivel a bit. Very well played. Hesselberg as well. Well, he is a good player. We didn't expect anything else. He is a high pressure player as well. He really likes getting in there like quickly, blocking you, making you do stupid moves that you don't want to do. And
it's easier to ask questions of your opponent than trying to answer them.
Exactly, and since he got the first turn, he could take the initiative in this game and just keep that pressure going up until turn 4 when he destroyed the big knights with the smites and stuff like that. It also sounded a bit like Hesselberg was a bit lucky on his armor rolls in the lower left-hand side, where he got that knight who just survived randomly and could charge into the wiper and just kill it. I think having that asset as well would have been big for Ludde. Maybe giving him a few more points.
Maybe.
But all in all, a good game.
Yep, for sure.
We will now double check all the scoring so we can update it for you. I don't know if all the games are in yet, and then we will be shortly back with game 3, and it will be the last game of the day. So, see you in a few minutes.